The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the dilapidated mansion at the edge of town. I stood at the rusted iron gate, my heart thudding in my chest. The air was heavy with silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the cold wind. Why did I agree to this? I muttered, pulling my jacket tighter around me. It had started as a dare, a stupid, childish dare, and now here I was, standing in front of a house that looked like it belonged in a horror movie. "You've got this," I whispered to myself, taking a shaky step forward. The gate creaked ominously as I pushed it open, the sound echoing into the still night. Gravel crunched beneath my shoes as I approached the front door. The house loomed above me, its broken windows like hollow eyes staring into my soul. The door was unlocked, of course. I pushed it open and it groaned loudly, as though protesting my intrusion. The smell hit me first, a mix of dust, mildew, and something faintly metallic. I stepped inside, the floorboards creaking under my weight. The hallway stretched out before me, dimly lit by the faint moonlight streaming through the cracked windows. Cobwebs draped the corners, and shadows danced along the walls. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. Just one room, I told myself. Just take a look around and get out. I ventured deeper into the house, my footsteps echoing in the vast, empty space. The air seemed to grow colder the further I went, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. At the end of the hallway, a door stood slightly ajar, a faint light spilling out from within. My curiosity got the better of me, and I approached cautiously. Inside, the room was unlike the rest of the house. It was small, cluttered, and felt alive. Shelves lined the walls, crammed with jars filled with strange substances. Powders, liquids, and unidentifiable objects suspended in glass. A cauldron sat in the corner, its surface blackened with soot. The air was thick with a scent of herbs and something sweet, like overripe fruit. This was no ordinary room. It looked like a witch's workshop. "What is this place?" I muttered, stepping inside. My eyes darted around, taking in the bizarre assortment of objects. I couldn't resist touching them. I ran my fingers over the jars, feeling the cool glass beneath my skin. A book lay open on the table, its pages filled with intricate symbols and strange diagrams. Then I saw it, a small vial filled with a shimmering, iridescent liquid. It sat alone on the table, glowing faintly in the dim light. My hand hovered over it, hesitation battling with curiosity. "It's probably just some old perfume or something," I said, trying to convince myself. Before I could think better of it, I uncorked the vial and brought it to my nose. The scent was intoxicating, sweet and floral with a hint of spice. Without thinking, I tipped it back and drank. The liquid was cold as it slid down my throat, and for a moment nothing happened. Then it hit me like a freight train. A wave of warmth spread through my body, followed by a tingling sensation that started at my fingertips and raced through my limbs. My knees buckled, and I grabbed the edge of the table for support. My heart was racing, my breath coming in short gasps. "What the hell is this?" I whispered, but my voice. It wasn't my voice. It was higher, softer, melodic. Panic surged through me as I looked down at my hands. They were shrinking, my fingers becoming slender and delicate. My skin glowed faintly, like moonlight reflecting off water. I stumbled back, watching in horror as the changes spread. My arms and legs became lithe and graceful, my chest pushed outward and my waist narrowed. My shirt and pants morphed before my eyes, transforming into a flowing, feminine dress that clung to my new curves. My hair spilled down my shoulders in silky waves, longer and softer than it had ever been. But the changes weren't just physical. My mind felt different. Thoughts that weren't mine began to surface. Images of makeup palettes, hairstyles, outfits, and boys. I shook my head, trying to dispel the alien thoughts, but they clung to me like a second skin. "Whoa, This isn't me. I'm not, my voice cracked and tears welled in my eyes. Couldn't stay here. Had to get out. I bolted from the room, the dress flowing around me as I ran. The house seemed to twist and stretch around me, the hallway never ending. Finally, I burst through the front door and into the night, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I didn't stop running until I reached my house. Fumbling with the keys, I threw the door open and slammed it shut behind me. My chest heaved as I leaned against the door, trying to calm my racing heart. But as I turned to look around, a cold dread settled over me. This wasn't my house anymore. The walls were painted pink, adorned with floral patterns and twinkling fairy lights. My posters and gaming setup were gone, replaced by plush teddy bears, a vanity mirror, and a wardrobe overflowing with dresses. My bed was covered in soft pastel sheets, and makeup kits were neatly arranged on the vanity. No, 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 I whispered, backing away. My gaze fell on the makeup, and something inside me shifted. A strange longing bubbled up, a desire to try it. I shook my head, clenching my fists. This isn't me. I'm not. But my feet carried me to the vanity, my hands reaching for the foundation before I could stop myself. I dabbed it onto my face, smoothing it over my skin. Next came mascara, then lipstick. Each stroke felt natural, like I'd been doing it my whole life. My hands moved to the nail polish, painting each nail a glossy red. When I was done, I stared at my reflection, unable to recognize the person, the woman, looking back at me. My eyes drifted to the wardrobe. A red dress caught my attention, its fabric shimmering in the soft light. I pulled it out, running my fingers over the material. Before I knew it, I was slipping it on, the fabric hugging my new curves perfectly. I turned to the mirror, my breath catching in my throat. I was beautiful. The next morning, the changes were complete. Everyone I knew acted as though I'd always been a woman. My parents called me by a new name, Lily. My friends treated me like one of the girls, and my classmates, well, they looked at me differently. Especially the boys. At school I tried to blend in, but it was impossible to ignore the attention. One boy in particular, Jake, caught my eye. He was charming, with a smile that made my heart flutter. Hated it. Or at least I thought I did. But as the days turned into weeks, I found myself drawn to him. Our conversations became longer, our interactions more frequent. One afternoon, as we sat in the park, he leaned closer, his hand brushing against mine. "Lily, you're amazing," he said softly, his eyes searching mine. "Thanks," I whispered, my cheeks flushing. My heart raced, and I realized with a sinking feeling that I was falling for him. I wanted to fight it, to cling to who I used to be, but the lines between Liam and Lily blurred more each day. The potion hadn't just changed my body. It had reshaped my very being. And as much as I resisted, I couldn't deny that a part of me liked this new life. Jake took my hand, and I let him. Maybe this wasn't what I had planned, but for now it was my reality. And part of me wondered if this was who I was meant to be all along.